Now, DiJonai Carrington couldn't keep her hands clean either. Was staying out of headlines on the internet. She was always in headlines, punching players in the eye.
And DiJonai is immature. DiJonai walks around like she has something to prove to everybody. DiJonai walks around like she has a chip on her shoulder. DiJonai is so not confident in who she is as a person. She feels the need to project that on others.
Breaking news has the basketball world in absolute chaos. And DiJonai Carrington just got served the coldest dish of karma in WNBA history. The Dallas Wings finally said enough and shipped out the most problematic player in professional basketball.
Like DiJonai Carrington just got booted from the Dallas Wings.
This is the same woman who turned Caitlyn Clark's eye into a punching bag, nearly ended her own teammate's career, and got referees calling for security during games. Dallas just proved that talent without character equals nothing.
She was always in headlines, punching players in the eye. And then we have to remember, she nearly injured Paige. Like, everybody forgot about that.
Let's start with the moment that put this chaos artist on everyone's radar. September 22nd, 2024. Connecticut Sun versus Indiana Fever playoffs. And DiJonai Carrington decides she wants to make history for all the wrong reasons. Caitlyn Clark goes for her signature shot. And here comes Carrington with what she calls a defensive play, but what the entire basketball world recognizes as a targeted attack. Her fingernails make direct contact with Clark's eye, sending the rookie sensation crashing to the floor with a black eye that becomes the story of the entire playoffs.
Yeah, I was fooled. I was fooled. A year ago, I thought DiJonai Carrington was good at basketball. I was fooled.
The slow-motion footage goes viral, and suddenly everyone's asking the same question. Was this an accident, or did she do it on purpose? But here's what separates accidents from intentional damage. Carrington shows zero remorse. No apology, no concern, no acknowledgement that maybe she crossed a line. Instead, she doubles down like she's proud of what happened. When reporters ask her directly about trying to hurt Clark, she plays dumb like we didn't all watch the same footage.
DiJonai, you're always in a dirty play. DiJonai, once again, here we are today.
But that's just the beginning of this chaos story. Fast forward to June 4th against Seattle Storm, and we see the exact same pattern playing out. Skylar Diggins drives to the basket, looking for an easy transition score, and here comes Carrington again, with her signature move, targeting another star player's head.
Carrington hunts down Skylar Diggins and makes a clear non-basketball play. Let's get into it.
Stretches of game. Wins the tip. Diggins, who's still fast, gets down the floor, buries it.
Oh, and there's Skylar on the floor.
The officials immediately call it a flagrant foul because anyone with eyes can see this isn't basketball anymore. This is assault with a basketball uniform on.
DiJonai Carrington and dirty basketball, DiJonai Carrington and flagrant fouls. How come every time I'm watching a flagrant foul, you're committing the foul?
Fans are losing their minds because the pattern is becoming crystal clear. This woman isn't playing defense. She's hunting star players like she's getting paid bonuses for every head she targets. One fan captures it perfectly, saying, "That's not physicality, that's trash play from a dirty player who doesn't belong on the court." The basketball world starts connecting the dots. Caitlyn Clark's eye, Skylar Diggins' head, and everyone's wondering who's next on Carrington's hit list. But wait, it gets worse. Most players worry about hurting opponents with dirty plays, but Carrington managed to take out her own teammate while trying to hurt someone else. May 21st against Minnesota Lynx becomes the moment that proves this woman is so focused on causing damage that she creates collateral casualties in her own locker room. Picture this: insanity. Jessica Shepard goes up for a shot and Carrington comes flying in with her usual reckless abandon, going for another eye poke. But somehow, she manages to injure her own teammate, Paige Beckers, in the process.
Y'all remember when she nearly injured Paige, nearly took her whole knee out? Like, we got to remember all of those things transpired during this basketball season, man.
Think about the mechanics of how one player can cause this much chaos in a single moment. You have to be completely out of control and focus solely on causing harm to create this level of destruction. Even her own teammates started questioning whether playing alongside Carrington was worth the constant risk. When you're worried about getting hurt by your own player during practice and games, there's a serious problem. Beckers and other Wings players began showing visible frustration, knowing they could become casualties of her reckless approach at any moment.
DiJonai Carrington is just terrible at basketball. She's not a good defender. She can't shoot. She's not a good scorer at the rim. She can't really dribble. She has low IQ.
The Minnesota coaching staff witnessed this level of recklessness firsthand and couldn't believe what they were seeing. You could see the disgust on their faces as they watched Carrington target their players while simultaneously endangering her own teammate. This wasn't about aggressive basketball anymore. This was about a player whose style had become so toxic it infected everything around her. But the ultimate chaos moment comes during the Chicago Sky game when something happens that's never been seen in WNBA history. Picture this scene. Dallas Wings just lost to Chicago Sky and tensions are running high. But what happens next breaks all precedent. The referee, Roy Gulbayan, makes an unprecedented decision and calls for security on DiJonai Carrington during a post-game conversation. Let that sink in. A trained official, someone who handles heated exchanges with players for a living, decided he needed backup to deal with Carrington. This wasn't about being upset over a call. This was about creating an atmosphere so hostile that security intervention became necessary. Other players and coaches watched in complete shock as security was called on a player during a basketball game.
Right, we got it. You're so tough and bad. Ooh, I'm DiJonai Carrington, big bad DiJonai. Oh, okay, DiJonai, okay. This makes you look like nothing but a thug that asks for this type of stuff. So
Carrington's response on social media made it even worse. She writes, "Security, when I'm literally having a civil conversation, is insane," showing zero self-awareness about how her behavior was perceived.
Yo, fans swear I'm such a dirty player. I'm so over this narrative because if you really know ball, you know I just play hard as F and never give up on a play.
If your idea of a civil conversation requires security backup, that says everything about your approach to communication. When referees need protection from your presence, you're not playing basketball anymore. Her 4 flagrant fouls this season built toward this exact moment. Each incident showed a pattern of escalating behavior that officials couldn't ignore anymore. The league's tolerance for her conduct reached its breaking point when referees started calling for security during routine post-game interactions. This woman had become such a limitation that trained officials needed protection from her. After months of defending the indefensible, Dallas Wings finally did what everyone saw coming. They shipped Carrington out of town.
This is the Dallas Wings letting the world know Wings have traded guard DiJonai Carrington to the Minnesota Lynx in exchange for Diamond Miller. And yeah, man. And they cut the comments off.
The trade announcement hits like a bomb. Minnesota Lynx sends Diamond Miller, Carly Samuelson, and a 2027 second-round pick to Dallas for the most problematic player in professional basketball. But here's what makes this trade fascinating and proves Carrington is getting exactly what she deserves. Minnesota is a championship contending team sitting pretty with a 24-5 record, positioning themselves as a major threat to win it all. They just willingly imported chaos into their championship culture. The same team that needs to stay focused for a title run just added a player whose specialty is creating problems that go way beyond basketball. Let's talk about what Dallas actually got in return and why this proves they finessed Minnesota. Diamond Miller was the second overall pick in the 2023 WNBA draft, earned all rookie team honors, and averaged 12.1 points during her rookie season. Her three-point shooting has been elite in 2025, hitting 53.8% of her attempts. That's real talent. Dallas can build around without worrying about eye pokes and security incidents. Carly Samuelson brings veteran experience with career shooting splits of 41.1% from the field and 39.2% from three-point range. Yes, she's dealing with a foot injury, but at least she's not dealing with behavioral problems that require referee protection. Dallas just traded their biggest headache for legitimate basketball talent. The irony is absolutely delicious. A championship team just traded for a player who specializes in getting ejected from big games. Minnesota's timing is questionable, considering this trade happened right after Lynx star Napheesa Collier left games with injuries. They needed reliable depth, not additional chaos. But here's where Carrington gets what she truly deserves. She's going from Dallas, where she couldn't crack the starting lineup after 12 games, to Minnesota, where Coach Cheryl Reeve has zero tolerance for nonsense. Analysts keep saying Reeve is the one person who can fix Carrington, but let's be real, some players are beyond fixing when their problems run this deep.
Hey, mirror, mirror on the wall, DiJonai Carrington, you are the dirtiest dirtbag of them all. Dirty play, DiJonai Carrington.
Reeve has built a championship culture in Minnesota, and she's not about to let some chaos artist destroy what she's spent years building. Carrington better bring her game, not her drama, because Reeve will bury her on the bench faster than Dallas did. She's walking into a locker room full of veterans who won't tolerate her targeting teammates during practice. Dallas fans are celebrating this trade like they just won the lottery. You can feel the relief across the entire fan base. They're finally free from the constant drama and embarrassment that came with defending Carrington's actions. No more explaining away dirty plays. No more justifying why their player needed security called on her during games. The basketball world is watching to see if Minnesota can contain this chaos or if they just made the biggest mistake in franchise history. Either Carrington learns to play actual basketball instead of targeting opponents' faces, or she finds herself out of the league entirely. The pressure is on and there's nowhere left to hide. This is what happens when talent without character meets reality. You can be skilled all you want, but if you're poisoning team culture, targeting star players, and creating hostile environments, eventually every organization runs out of patience. Carrington thought she could get away with her antics forever, but Dallas just showed her that actions have consequences. The ultimate test starts now. Can she survive in Minnesota's championship culture, or will this be her final stop before getting blacklisted from professional basketball? The woman who tried to injure Caitlyn Clark, nearly took out her own teammate, and got referees calling security, is about to learn what it means to play for coaches who demand accountability. Minnesota just acquired the most controversial player in the league right before their championship push. They better hope they can control the chaos they just imported, because championship teams can't afford the kind of distractions that follow DiJonai Carrington wherever she goes. And let's not forget the message this trade sends to every locker room in the league. Character matters more than clout. The Dallas Wings didn't just move on from a problem, they made a statement. You can't build a winning franchise around a ticking time bomb who confuses reckless aggression for competitive edge. For too long, Carrington thought the league would tolerate her chaos as long as she showed flashes of talent. But talent without restraint is just a weapon with no aim, and Dallas wasn't about to let her destroy their locker room from the inside out. Now it's Minnesota's turn to roll the dice, but they aren't adding a sixth woman off the bench. They're adding a walking controversy to a locker room full of championship expectations. All eyes are on Carrington, and the leash is short. One dirty foul, one social media outburst, one practice fight, that's all it'll take for the Lynx to pull the plug. This isn't just her last shot with a title contender. This might be her last shot in the league. From reckless eye pokes to security run-ins, the only thing more consistent than her chaos has been the consequences. And now they're finally catching up to her. Will Carrington finally learn to channel her aggression into winning basketball? Or will she prove that some players are simply too toxic for championship culture? Drop your opinion in the comments below.